Greetings, friend, and welcome. Today we are going to be comparing this most recent page of our Greek and Latin text to see how well the Latin is done. We're going to be going through verses 5, 6, and 7. Previously, our Latin has only had two problems. It translated of the rulers of the Jews as a ruler of the Jews. So we had a nominative singular instead of a genitive plural like we were expecting. Not a huge issue, but for someone culturally unaware, it could be a bit confusing, making them think that Nicodemus is, well, Jesus' brother or cousin, because he would be a direct descendant of David, as the term prince, for a lot of people, would imply he is next in line for the throne. So, wrong. It's not what it means. So, not a huge issue, but a little bit of one. And then our other problem was we had I think, present subjunctive in the Greek, but the Latin translated it with a perfect subjunctive for some unknown reason. So tense issues there, but not too big. Our previous page, verses 3 and 4, I don't think it had a single issue, so that's good. Let's see how well 5 through 7 does. Jesus answered, aorist, deponent, indicative. Deponent doesn't really matter because they're two different languages. Jesus is a nominative. You've got perfect or present, and it's indicative. Jesus is our subject. So, since this one is aorist, perfect is the closest that Latin can get to aorist. I'm going to cross out the present and select perfect, exactly as I suspected, as our correct translation. So no issue there. Truly, truly, I say to you, present, dative. Truly, truly, I say to you, present, dative. So far, so good. Unless, present, general, conditional, and I don't think I actually said in the Latin video, but yeah, this one is also present, general, nisi and aeon me. We've seen those twice already, maybe 3 times already. So this one is good. Someone, nominative singular, masculine or feminine. Someone, all the quis here, because of nisi. Nominative singular, masculine, because of renatus, so that's good. Aorist, passive, subjunctive. You got a perfect deponent, sort of passive, and then a future perfect or a perfect. Since this one is aorist, perfect makes most sense for this one, so I'm going to cross out our future perfect and box this in as the correct one. And I don't need to write down the future perfect translation, which is nice, but those match, that's good. Subjunctive and subjunctive, exactly what we would expect with the present general. Out of, from, water, genitive, and spirit, genitive, but really objects of the preposition. Out of, from, water, ablative, and spirit, ablative. So that's good. Right prepositional phrase, right preposition, it's also, so that's good. He is not able, present tense and negative. He is not able, present tense and negative. To come into, got an intensified or amplified elephane with that ace right there. It's aorist tense and it's an infinitive. Latin doesn't have an infinitive of the correct tense, which now I realize I forgot to mark here. I will do it in bright red so I'm reminded next time the Latin video to point out that I missed that. So, present, active, infinitive. So the tenses aren't the issue there. That's quite all right. But it's just that it means the same thing. Intro and ace, same meaning in this situation. So yeah, good, good. Into the kingdom of God, right there. Into kingdom of God. We've got accused of a place into which. Accused of a place into which. So that's good. Of God. Good, good. Moving on to verse 6. The having been born of the flesh. Perfect tense is a participle. It's not necessarily going to be the same thing in Latin, because Latin doesn't always do participles the same way that Greek does. Often it will have a different type of clause. And in this case, we've got a relative clause with quote. So what has been born? Perfect tense and neuter. Perfect tense and neuter. So that's good. They have the same meaning. It's just a different way of saying that. Nice to see. I'm going to scooch that up now. Still in the screen. Yes. Where did we go? Of the flesh and from flesh ex carne. That's good. Present tense is flesh. present tense is flesh. Good, good. And the having been born, same form as this one. And what has been born, so same as that before there. So those match up. That's nice. Where did we go? Of the Spirit is Spirit present tense. Of the Spirit is Spirit present tense. So far, so good. Now into verse 7. All right, everything is visible that needs to be visible. That's nice. Don't wonder. Aorist subjunctive. This one is a, and I think in Latin we call it adjussive. I don't remember if we call it the same thing in Greek. It just might be under the hortatory category in Greek. But whichever it is, we've also got a present subjunctive. So the same subjunctive idea in Latin as in Greek. However, present tense is incorrect. So don't forget that. Underline that. So, tense issue. We could have done, or we, not we, the translator here could have done a perfect subjunctive. And then we would match in the tenses and would have the same idea. And I don't think it changes too much right here. Because again, just like the infinitive, the tense isn't quite as important when you come to something like a command, which these two are, as the tense is for an indicative. So, yeah, I'm not going to actually consider that too big of a deal. Minor problem. Moving on. That I said to you, aorist tense, dative. That I said to you, perfect tense, dative. Good. It is necessary for y'all, present active. It is needful, necessary, fit, proper, for you, plural, present, active, indicative. So that's good. Necessary. To be born, passive infinitive. To be born, deponent infinitive, but the same meaning, so that's good. From above or again, and again. So not quite the best word, I think, for translating anothen, because it doesn't have the same. It doesn't have the same broad, the same types of meaning as anothen. It shares one, but it doesn't have the from above specific ano that ano gives us. So I still take issue with that word, but it's not a problem. Not actually a problem in the translation. It's just me disagreeing with the translator here over something that, well, I think matters a little bit, but doesn't change the meaning. It is a valid way of translating anothen. I need to get over myself, even though I think I'm right. There we go. I hope taking a look at this has been helpful for you. Our Latin, where did it go? Present when a perfect was possible. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the only problem here. Well, again, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a very good day. Farewell. Hey, not asleep yet? That's okay. I've got tons of other equally sleep-inducing videos for you to watch. Check them out.